Markle is setting the record straight, telling Oprah the real story behind the infamous during the preparation of her wedding to Prince Harry.
Meghan Markle just got caught tracking Kate Middleton's live location using a charity app, and the royal family is furious. But how did she do it? How did she get caught? And why is this the biggest digital scandal in royal family history? Before we reveal how Meghan pulled off this shocking digital spy move, let's first talk about the innocent-looking charity app that started it all. The app in question is called Royal Reach. It was made to help the royal family and charities organize their events. Basically, it's like a behind-the-scenes app where they can manage who's going where, when volunteers need to show up, and even track where royal family members are during events. Sounds super helpful, right? But here's the problem. It wasn't supposed to be accessible to Meghan and Harry anymore. After they stepped down from their royal duties in 2020, all their official access to things like this was supposed to be cut off. But apparently, someone forgot to disable Meghan's old login or maybe an account linked to a charity they once worked with. This little mistake became a huge loophole.
And tells us about the royal divide.
Piers Morgan, who is no fan of Meghan's, had this to say.
This has been very deliberately done. A-list to the left, B-list to the right.
There was zero interaction between.
You see, apps like Royal Reach are built for efficiency, but no one thought that a former royal might still have a way in. Meghan didn't hack anything. She just still had her old access. It's like when you leave a job, but you can still log into the company portal because they never removed your account. And that's where the whole issue began. Meghan allegedly used this outdated access to keep an eye on Kate's movements. Now here's the craziest part, how Meghan allegedly got caught. It didn't happen overnight. For months, Kate's security team noticed something weird. Every time Kate attended a private or unannounced event, paparazzi would somehow show up at locations that weren't even made public. These weren't big public events. They were small, off-the-record charity visits. At first, people thought maybe someone was leaking info from the inside, but then it kept happening. It got super obvious during a charity event in Windsor, where Kate was meeting with vulnerable children. This was a completely private event, no press, no public announcement, but somehow paparazzi were already there, ready with their cameras. This raised massive red flags. The security team did a full audit of the app systems, especially Royal Reach. That's when they discovered strange login activity from an IP address located in Montecito, California. For those who don't know, that's where Meghan and Harry live. The audit showed that someone had been logging into the app from Meghan's estate and accessing Kate's real-time location during events. Most people think of the royal family as being all about fancy events and official speeches. But behind the scenes, there's actually a quiet digital war going on. For years, the royals have used apps like Royal Reach to manage their daily duties. These apps help with organizing events, coordinating with charities, and keeping security updated about where royals are at all times. But when Harry and Meghan left their royal roles in 2020, there was a huge debate inside the palace. Should they still have access to these internal systems? Some officials wanted to immediately block them out, a process they called digital firewalling. But others said it wasn't that simple. Many of these apps were built around joint patronages, where Meghan and Harry were still connected to certain charities. Legally, it became messy to just cut off their access without going through a lot of paperwork and agreements. Because of this, digital backdoors stayed open. These were old admin accounts, charity logins, or volunteer access points that were never shut down properly. Meghan's team, it seems, knew about these and used them to stay connected to royal activities. Now let's talk about why Meghan might have done this. You see, Meghan has always been known for being very smart with media and digital strategy. When she and Harry launched their Archewell Foundation, there were reports that their team had a whole setup where they monitored the internet in real time. They would track how often Meghan's name was mentioned in the media, especially in British tabloids, and see what kind of stories were trending about her. Meghan has often talked about wanting to own her narrative. That means she wants to have control over how the media talks about her, which can be really tough when dealing with the UK press, who are often critical of her. Because of this, Meghan's team is known for being very active online, always watching and responding to news coverage. The charity app tracking situation fits perfectly into this pattern. Meghan, by keeping an eye on Kate's live appearances, could plan how stories about Kate would unfold in the media. It's no secret that Kate is often portrayed in a very positive light by the press, while Meghan has been targeted with negative headlines.
Wishes for your new niece, Lilibet. Oh, I wish her all the very best. I can't wait to meet her because we haven't yet met her yet, so hopefully.
By knowing Kate's movements in advance, Meghan could try to manage the media narrative or even tip off photographers to shift public attention. When it comes to scandals, Buckingham Palace has a very clear rule: never complain, never explain. They like to stay silent and not feed the drama, and officially they've said nothing about this tracking incident. But don't be fooled, behind those palace walls, people are really, really angry.
Duke of Sussex is here. Duke of Sussex. Yeah. And I'm Duchess of Sussex. Duke and Duchess of Sussex.
Insiders say the mood is frosty and furious. They're treating this tracking issue with top-level seriousness. Even though there won't be any public statements or interviews, actions are being taken in the background. There are talks of placing a soft ban on Meghan, which means she won't be allowed to access any internal UK royal platforms ever again. Legal teams are also discussing whether this incident crosses into cyberstalking or digital harassment. But the palace is smart. They know that dragging this into a public courtroom would only make the scandal bigger. Plus, it would expose how vulnerable their own digital systems are. So instead of going down that messy path, they're focusing on shutting every possible leak. So how did Kate Middleton react to all this drama? Well, in typical Kate style, she didn't lose her cool. She's known for staying calm and collected, even when things get messy. Instead of confronting Meghan in public or giving statements, Kate decided to handle it in a much smarter way, a quiet but powerful move. After learning about the tracking issue, Kate reportedly pushed for a protocol overhaul of all the royal family's charity apps and digital platforms. This means they're now reviewing and updating all the systems to make sure no one can sneak in through old accounts or back doors again. Kate has been leading this effort behind the scenes, showing that she's not just a figurehead, but someone who takes action when needed. Also, Kate's team has changed how she does her public appearances. They've started doing surprise visits and announcing events at the very last minute to prevent any leaks. This keeps paparazzi and unwanted eyes guessing about where she'll be next. It's a clever way to stay in control of her public image. The public's reaction to this whole situation has been wild. While Meghan Markle still has a lot of fans in the US, especially among people who see her as a symbol of breaking royal traditions, the UK media has been absolutely brutal. British tabloids are calling her names like digital stalker and privacy hypocrite. And you can guess why. Meghan has spent years fighting the media for invading her privacy, but now she's being accused of doing the same thing to Kate. It's a bad look. People who used to support Meghan's privacy fight are now questioning her. The big question is, how can you demand privacy
A list of names,
and at the same
dozens
time
of them.
allegedly track someone else's private movements? It feels hypocritical to a lot of people. This backlash is not just internet gossip. It could seriously hurt Meghan's career. She has big projects lined up with platforms like Netflix, and she often does public speaking about mental health, privacy, and women's empowerment. But now, critics are saying her credibility is damaged. Why should anyone listen to Meghan talk about privacy if she's being accused of spying on Kate? In the world of PR, optics are everything. Even if Meghan had no bad intentions, the fact that this story is out there is already damaging. She's losing control of the narrative, which is something she's always tried to avoid. Now let's talk about the legal side of this mess. Here's the thing. This situation falls into a very gray area legally. Meghan didn't hack into the app or break into any systems. She allegedly used old login credentials that were still active from her time as a royal patron. So, from a technical point of view, she wasn't exactly committing a cybercrime. But if it's proven that she knowingly monitored Kate's private movements without consent, this could be considered digital surveillance misconduct. That's a serious accusation. The problem is, for any legal action to happen, the royal family would have to go public about the internal workings of their apps and how Meghan had access. That would mean exposing their own security flaws. And honestly, the palace doesn't want that kind of attention. Instead of dragging this into court, the royal family might prefer to handle it quietly. Insiders say there's a chance of a silent legal settlement where both sides agree to keep things out of the media in exchange for Meghan officially losing all access to royal digital platforms. But make no mistake, this will come with consequences. Meghan's bridge to any remaining royal ties will be completely burned. There will likely be a strict digital lockdown, ensuring no outsider, including Meghan, can ever get backdoor access again. What do you think? Was it a sneaky move or just a tech mistake that went too far? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon so you don't miss our next crazy royal scandal.